Everyone, this is my week 11 post-op video update. It's been a few weeks since I've done a video. Like most of you, it's just way too crazy in the summer. I've got a lot going on, went on a mini vacation, but I just want to bring you up to date regarding my weight loss and just share a few thoughts with you. Appreciate all the comments and all the videos that I've been watching, and just amazing some of the transformations that some of you have undergone. It's so inspirational, so I just want to thank all of you guys for kind of sticking your necks out to share your victories and even some of your frustrations as well. My weight loss as of today, which is July 7th, it has been 83 pounds. So I'm down 83 pounds, so that's really exciting. Only 17 more pounds for me to be able to hit the big 100 pounds thing. I'm not going to be in the 100s then, but that's okay. I'll still celebrate the 100, or whatever they call the Century Club thing. So that's kind of neat. It's been a little crazy busy. We did, like I said, go out of town for a little bit, and I'll get to that in just a second. My son, who's 14, is preparing for freshman football. He gets up every morning from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock. And roughly, sometimes it's till 7:30, 7:40. He goes and he runs and he weight lifts with the coaches for the football team. So it's awesome. Another mom of a football player and she's had gastric bypass as well. She and I walk then about anywhere from 2 to 3 miles during that time. So it kind of kicks things off for me during the day, and I kind of like that. It's really early. Sometimes I'm thinking like, oh golly, it feels like it's way too early. But it's good to kind of get a good start to the day. So that's good. At least I get that exercising in. If I don't hit the gym later, at least I have some aerobic activity. So not for the July weekend, but the weekend before, my little sister got married up in the Twin Cities, the Minneapolis area, and we went up there. My daughter had been away at a senior high mission trip to St. Louis and had a great time. So it was just myself, my husband, and my son Garrett. We had a fabulous time visiting with some friends, and I got to share with them a little bit about my OH website, and told them a little bit about some of the weight loss victories I've had. So that's been really encouraging. And it was just good just to be away. You know how you guys get like that? It's like, I just want to go away. And that's kind of what it was. That's kind of what it did. And so it felt good. But at my sister's wedding, I was not, at first I was kind of beating myself up about this. And I kind of thought of Chris when she was saying how, oh, I blew it. But I blew it in terms of eating. I didn't blow it in terms of any alcohol. So far, with these 11 weeks post-op, I've not tried any alcohol. I'm not a big drinker to begin with. So it's not a real issue for me. It's probably more of an issue to my friends who are like, oh, you still can't have a glass of wine or two? But I'm like, it never really bothered me to begin with. So maybe more of an issue for them. But I did not have any alcohol at the wedding yet. I know I probably could. Some people say you could, and some of you have tried it before, the first 6 months mark. For some reason, my mentality is it's just easy to stay away. It's easier to stay away from it at this point, rather than kind of get sucked in. Not that I ever was an alcoholic or anything. I wasn't, and I'm not. But I'm kind of just, it's easier to stay away. What I had a hard time staying away from were chips. Pringles chips. Now, at first my stomach was a little uneasy, and so I was really hungry. I'd gone a few too many hours without eating. So I had a few in the hotel room between the reception and the wedding. And I'm like eating, and all of a sudden I'm like, my stomach can handle this. My stomach is not feeling barfy at all. And I'm like, wow. I pretty much totally crossed the whole threshold. No nausea at all. I don't ever have nausea anymore. So, knock on wood, those of you who are pre-ops thinking, oh, Margot, she was one of those girls that had nausea. Remember I had the scopolamine patch that I had to wear for months. I've not had that, and it is gone. And I just want to say that I'm really grateful that I have the option to eat other foods. That includes healthier foods like veggies and fruits. I had a fantastic salad, a spinach salad with strawberries and pecans, pistachios. At the wedding, I handled it beautifully. But I was a little concerned about the potato chips driving in the car and then at the wedding. But then when I got home, I really kind of added up how much I ate, and it really wasn't more than a few hundred calories, which I'm always way under for caloric intake. And then I thought, well, you know what? You didn't have any cake, you didn't have any sugar, you didn't have any alcohol, so you had some potato chips. Don't beat yourself up over it. And that made me feel good that I thought, well, we'll see how I do. I got back from the trip, and I even lost 2 pounds. So that blew my mind. My husband goes, sometimes you need enough caloric intake in order to be able to lose. So I'm like, works for me. Ironically, my daughter, who is 5'6", and all of 105 pounds. Let's see, let me just show you her picture. Okay, that is my daughter. This is her tiny, tiny waist. There's kind of a glare in the window, but she's tiny. She's tiny, tiny. Does not take after my side of the family, fortunately. But I will say that she came back from her youth group meeting last night, and she's like, oh, Mom, I think I gained 10 pounds. I just feel huge. I ate junk food all week. I'm like, honey, remember we talked about making good choices, even if you stop at fast food places and things like that. And she's like, I don't know. But she hops on the scale. She lost 5 pounds, so she's down now again to 105 pounds. And, there's a part of me that's really like, wow, that's really neat. And there's a part of me that just wants to kick her. But that's okay. I'm wondering if some of you guys have had to deal with weight issues for your children at all. Do any of you have children that are overweight? I do not. I did, knowing the horrible curse that I grew up with this whole weight issue. I did make a promise to myself that I would not make food an issue for my kids. When they were younger, I made them eat the vegetables. I made them make the good choices, the protein, whatever, and to try things. But quite honestly, I did teach them, when you're full, stop eating. That was something that never happened in my family. It was the Clean Plate Club, like I'm sure many of you grew up with. So even as a young child, I remember when she was 3 or 4 or 5 years old, she was saying, I'd say, would you like a cookie now that you finished dinner? No, Mom. No, thanks, Mom. Maybe later. I'm full. And so that's kind of what I've taught them. So as much as I've taught them a lot of bad things, probably because of my eating, sometimes a poor example is the best example, but also having taught them that, I'm happy that they both know when to stop. My son is not a sweets boy, but he likes to snack all night. But he's so incredibly active that he, exercises it all off, so it's not a big deal. But just a little food for thought on that is, what messages are we sending to our children? Conversely, my daughter has a friend whose mother was anorexic, and this friend of my daughter's is starting to put weight on. And I said, Brooke, no matter how much we try, mothers, if you had an eating disorder, which I was obviously an eating addict, food addict, and this other woman who was anorexic, you're going to have an impact. There's no way that can't affect your life. To our children. And I see my daughter looking at me. While she's happy with my weight losses, she's scared that she would ever be fat. And I said, in some ways, Brooke, that's probably a good thing, but don't become obsessed with it, which I did at her age. By the time I was her age, I was obsessed with my weight and food. So, knock on wood, they're both pretty active, they're both pretty healthy, and they're eating well, other than when they go on youth group trips. Even if they don't eat well, they know how to balance it out. So I guess that's a good thing. And as I'm improving my eating habits, hopefully they're learning some better ones as well. God forbid that we pass the curse of obesity or food addiction onto our kids. Now, some of the genetic part of it we can't help. Okay, if you have it, you have it. But when we do have a choice of, making our kid finish that because it cost me, whatever money to buy that, that's ridiculous. It should never be about the money. It should be about their health and choices. I have been craving fruit. Now, some of it's because it's summer. Went strawberry picking not too long ago. I just about died. I bet I ate a cup of strawberries. I was doubled over. And what I figured out later was gas pains. I thought I was having a gallbladder attack. But, so I'm 11 weeks out. I can eat fruit. Watermelon's the best that sits in my tummy, if you can imagine that. But I do best with fruit on snacking rather than with any food, so just curious if some of you have that issue as well. Yeah, I'm craving fruit. It may be because it's summer. It's been beautiful here in Wisconsin. There's about 4 or 5 months out of the year where you're happy to live in Wisconsin. Actually, I'm happy to be here all the time because I love snow and cold. But some of you at East were saying how hot it's been. It's been gorgeous here. It's been in the 70s, mid-70s. It's just been beautiful. I've had to water my flowers a lot in my gardens, but other than that, it's been great. We had a big thunderstorm today, but just a little chit-chat there on the weather. Just wanted to fill you in on. But, that's about it. I guess that's all I wanted to share. I wanted to bring you up to date on my weight loss. Hope you're all doing great. Keep up the good work, and we will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.